الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توغا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to hasten in the return of our Imam, count us all among the best of his servants between us, Quran and Ahlul Bayt, never come across a moment of separation, and those who have passed away from our loved ones, from among the mu'mineen, from the staunch supporters of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, wheresoever they be, Allah grant them the highest of ranks and stations with the Apostle sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Quran has an ayah, it states, يَوْمَ يَأْتِي بَعْضُ آيَاتِ رَبِّكَ لَا يَنْفَعُ نَفْسٌ إِيمَانُهَا لَمْ تَكُنْ آمَنَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِ. That is, when some of the signs of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will come forth, the faith that you would have, a person would have after seeing the signs, says that faith would be of no use, would be of no benefit. Here when inquired Imam Rida alayhi salatu wasalam, he says that ayah, which means sign, and ayat, which means signs, ayat in Quran are the Imams alayhimus salam. Ayah, which is the singular, it is Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. So this ayat says that the day when the signs would be seen by the people, that sign meaning that Imam, when he returns and people, they would see Imam al-Asr alayhi salam has returned, and now they start embracing. Quran says that Iman which a person will have after seeing the Imam alayhi salam, that will not do any benefit to him, would do him no good. That is to say that before the arrival of the Imam alayhi salam, we have to be a mu'min. We have to know the usul, we have to be practicing the furu before the arrival of the Imam if we want that Iman to be beneficial to us. So ayat over here are the Imams. Ayah is Imam al-Asr, and before he returns we have to fix our aqidah and our Iman. Now the same thing was when the reporter, he says that I asked Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, and Imam said that يَوْمَ خُرُوجِ الْقَائِمِ الْمُنْتَظَرِ, that is the day of the rising of Imam al-Asr, the awaited Imam, who is from us, the Ahlul Bayt. And then he says, Aba Basir, Tuba li-shi'atin qa'imina, that is good news for the followers and the Shias of our Qa'im, that is our Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, those who are waiting for the Imam in the era of Ghaibat, and they are obedient to him. And then they are obedient to the Imam just like it will be in the era of Zuhur, that when Imam returns and you would be obedient to the Imam, says just like that, they are obedient to the Imam in this era of the Ghaibat and occultation of the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. And then Imam al-Sadiq says that these mu'mineen, these people who are practicing and also at the same time awaiting the Imam alayhi salam, أُولَٰئِكَ أَوْلِيَاءُ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Indeed, they are the awliyaullah. They are the friends of Allah. No worry, no fear is for them. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. So a beautiful ayah regarding Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. And then those of you who are used to reciting this Ziyarat al-Yasin, in the opening of that Ziyarat al-Yasin we have a similar phrase, أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. That is, that Iman has to be already taken on board before the arrival of the Imam alayhi salam. قُلْ انْتَظِرُوا إِنَّا مُنْتَظِرُونَ. So, Iman has to be availed before the return of the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. The topic that we have for tonight is the existence of the Imam alayhi salam, or the presence of a Waliullah in the society. It ensures, it guarantees safety, security, well-being, afiyah, and goodness at large. It's all guaranteed and secured, ensured by the presence of a Waliullah. And we have a Waliullah who is Waliullah al-A'zam, the greatest of the awliyaullah, Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. He himself says, Ana khatamul awsiya, that is, I am the seal and the final of all the awsiya, of all the successors. وَبِي يَدْفَعُ اللَّهُ الْبَلَاءَ عَنْ أَهْلِي وَشِيَعَتِي, and it is by me Allah puts away every bala from my household and from my Shias. So presence of a Waliullah, it's that importance. Now when we look into Quran, the presence of an awliyaullah, of a Waliullah, it guarantees safety, security, and it ensures. Allah instructed the angels to destroy the city, the nation of Prophet Lut alayhi salam. The nation of Lut, they committed all these crimes, sins in public, these sins that have been made lawful nowadays, and that is the actions of the nation of Lut, that is having desire towards the same genders. Here Quran says, أَإِنَّكُمْ لَتَأْتُونَ الرِّجَالِ وَتَقْطَعُونَ السَّبِيلَ وَتَأْتُونَ. Now this wrong that these people they used to do, it wasn't as such that it was behind the doors and away from sights. The wrong and the sins that the nation of Lut they used to do, فِي نَادِيكُمُ الْمُنْكَرِ, that is in the opening. They committed these outrageous sins in gatherings, in public places. They were such bad that two angels who had come to Prophet Lut in the form of two very handsome men, the thugs in the town, they found out there are these handsome men who have come to Prophet Lut. They come to Prophet and say that surrender those guests to us, we've come to take them away. He said that they are the guests and I would not do that. And the thugs said, either you give them to us or because you know that we love to sin, and the sins, the kind of sins that we do, that is something that we have to have. Prophet Lut, it is the mazlumiyat of the Prophet Lut can be seen over here. He says that I have daughters, I will wed my daughters to you. Let go these guests, let them be safe, do not sin. They said, no, we don't want your daughters, we want your sons. Now their Prophet Lut alayhi salam, he was so much disturbed and sad that he said that I wish I had the power and the might. Now I wish I had the power and the might. It's the ayah of Quran says that قَالَ لَوْ أَنَّ لِي بِكُمْ قُوَّةً أَوْ آوِي إِلَىٰ رُكْنٍ شَدِيدٍ. That is, I wish I had that power. Rukn shadid means also mighty support. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, he says that is this quwwa that Prophet Lut alayhi salam was talking about, that I wish I had that quwwa, that might, that strength. I wish I had Mahdi alayhi salam. And when it says in the ayah that ila rukn shadid, that mighty support, if I wish I could have that, here it says that the mighty support are the followers and the helpers, the companions, the supporters of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. Now it's the mazlumiyat of a prophet that we see over here, and how oppressed were the prophets. That man, he had no security, no safety. The guests of the prophets were not safe. People in the town were not safe. So in such a time where Prophet, he pleads that I will wed my daughters, do not sin, all warnings were given. And this hujjat of Allah Ta'ala was complete. The argument is now complete. The angels, they came down to destroy. They said, Inna fiha luta. Qalu nahnu a'lamu biman fiha. The angels who came to destroy that land, they said that Lut is there, Lut is dwelling there, Lut is living there. There's a prophet there. Can we destroy a place where there is a prophet? Then they say that yes, wait, let the prophet leave the town and then we will devastate and we will destroy. So what we understand from this ayah, and there the hadith says that Jibreel descended and with his two strong wings, like a bulldozer, he just upturned the entire land with thousands and hundreds of thousands of people living therein. Everyone was overturned, and this house of Prophet Lut alayhi salam was safe, the only place that was left safe. What we understand from this ayah is that as long as a Waliullah is in the community, in the land, that place is safe. It is ensured, it is guaranteed. Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam, he ensures and secures the world. Now all these devices that I have here around me, they work with electricity. And if there is a power failure, everything will shut down. That power, that electricity that is coming from the mains and that has kept everything around me active and alive, that electricity is the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. By his presence, everything else is living, everything else is in place, nothing falls apart. It is the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam who has ensured everything. Another ayah that we have in Quran, it says that وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِ. Allah the Almighty, He says that as long as you, the Prophet, are in the nation, in the community, Allah will not punish them. And as long as they seek forgiveness, Allah will not chastise them. So the presence of a prophet means devastation will be away. The presence of a prophet means that azab will not come to that nation. And if an azab is to come to that nation, Allah removes the prophet from that nation, and then the azab, it is sent down to that nation. The other ayah that we have in Quran says, وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. Now Allah the Almighty, He says, I swear by the Kaaba, I swear by Mecca, La uqsimu bihadha al-balad, that is the land of Mecca. Wa anta hillun bihadha al-balad. Now I swear by Mecca, why? What is special in Mecca? Says Mecca has nothing. The sanctity and the greatness of Mecca, it's because of the Prophet. Wa anta hillun bihadha al-balad. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He made Amirul Mu'mineen be born in the Kaaba. So a Kaaba is sacred which has Ali in it. So Allah made Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam be born in the Kaaba so that the value, the worth of the Kaaba, it then gets that merit and worth. So if it was not in the Kaaba, then it would be like any other monument of bricks and stones. So Kaaba is Kaaba because of that Waliullah. Mecca is Mecca because of Rasulullah, who is a Waliullah. So everything is clear now. وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. That land is sacred because of Rasulullah. Kaaba is sacred because of Waliullah. And then Allah does not chastise or punish a nation as long as a Waliullah is there. So our Imams also are the same. Allah puts away the azab from nations because of the presence of a Waliullah. And the greatest of all of these awliyaullah is Imam al-Asr, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Now there are problems, even there's an insurance in place, we still have problems. If you want to claim something, you have to go to the police station, you have to get that report from the ICBC or whatever that company may be. You need to gather all the documentation, and only then can that claim be processed. It's not even if you have an insurance. So even if the Imam is there and everything is still insured and guaranteed, but still there is some tough time that we have to go through. Or, for example, a baby is born. This baby, with all that weakness and that inability that it has, that baby doesn't recognize anything, doesn't know what to eat, doesn't know the food, doesn't know the parents, it doesn't know what to wear, doesn't know how to be cleaned. So it's all inability and incapacity from every angle and dimension you see in the baby. So every shortfall, every weakness in that infant is fulfilled by the care and love and mercy provided by the parents. Our sins, they are the wrong. Our disobediences that we do, the angels, they said to God that, God, let go man, don't create him, don't make him. That qala inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. Allah said, I know what you do not know. And then in another ayah, Allah says, Allama Adam al-asma. That is, we taught Adam the names. Kullaha, all the names. Summa aradahum ala al-malaika. And these names where Prophet Adam was asked to present this ilm, this science, this knowledge that was given to him to the angels. Now the angels, when they saw what has been given to Prophet Adam alayhi salam, then they said, Ambi'uni bi asma'i ha'ula in kuntum sadiqeen. And then when the angels, they found out what science and what ilm and what knowledge has been given to Prophet Adam alayhi salam, then they said, Qalu subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. We did not know what all you have bestowed upon Adam. So Allah taught Adam all he needs to know. He then said, show that to the angels, the ulum that you have been given. So then when that knowledge was seen by the angels, they took back their word, that when we said, why do you want to create Adam? Says all that ilm that was given to Prophet Adam, a fraction of that wasn't given to the angels. So because a Waliullah can handle it, can take it on board, Allah gave it to that man, gave it to his prophet. Now when we look into du'as, for example, the role of the Imam is also seen, that how it is guaranteed. For example, this famous dua, Allahumma arifni nafsak, that Allah, you introduce yourself to me. If you do not do that, I will not know who my Rasul is. Introduce your Rasul to me. If you do not do that, I won't know who my Imam is. And if I don't know who my Imam is, dalaltu an dini, I will be misled. So God, He never abandons His creation. He makes the Prophet for them. And the Prophet also doesn't abandon his nation. The Prophet also appoints the Imam after him as his successor. So all of them, they are interconnected. That is, the Almighty Allah to the Prophet, Prophet to the Imam, Imam to the nation. So all of them, they are connected to one another, and the presence of the Imam ensures the safety and the sanctity, the security of the society. Now, for example, when you look back not too far away in the war, the Iran-Iraq war, Saddam was there, Daeshis also were there, just recent past. And as a result of the war that took place then between Iran and Iraq, those who went on the command and instructions of Saddam, there are many who were injured in the wheelchair today. Even those who went and fought Daesh, there are many who are still alive, wounded, crippled, disabled in the wheelchair. And likewise who went to defend upon the command of a Waliullah, Imam Khomeini, then when Saddam had attacked, there are many who got wounded, disabled now, and in the wheelchair. So that patient, that person is in the wheelchair. Now why did he get hit? Why did he get hurt? Why did he wound himself? When you ask Saddam that why did you do that? Why did you attack? Why did you invade? He said that I am the champion, the Sardar of the Arabs of Qadisiyah, and that was for his greed that he had, that he destroyed Iraq, he destroyed Iran, he destroyed Kuwait. And then you ask this group, on the contrary, that why did you go? They say that we did not want to fight, we were attacked. And Imam Khomeini, he said, defense is wajib, so we went to defend. So I, abiding by the command of a mujtahid who is an adil and has got all the criteria in him, I went and I got wounded and I am rewarded. And then it is that imamat that gives worth and value and identity. So that disabled in the wheelchair, who got disabled because of the command of a Waliullah, his identity is different, his merit is different, his worth and weight is different, compared to someone who got hit and hurt by an Waliyut Taghut, by a shaitan and his reflections. Now Imam says that إِنَّا غَيْرُ مُهْمِلِينَ لِمُرَاعَاتِكُمْ. This is a statement of Imam al-Asr alayhi salam. He says that we don't forget you. In وَلَا نَاسِينَ لِذِكْرِكُمْ. We always remember you. وَلَوْلَا ذَلِكَ لَنَزَلَ بِكُمُ الْأَوَاهِ. And if it was otherwise, if we did not remember you, you would see that how you would fall in the traps of all kinds of balas and tests and trials. We have a ziyarat, it's called Ziyarat Jami'atil Kabira, and then talks about the imams. Whichever imam you wish to address, you can address through this ziyarat. In this Ziyarat Jami'atil Kabira, we have a phrase where it says, Bikum fatahallah. That is, for you, Allah, He opened. Bikum yakhtim. And for you, He will shut down and close everything. Bikum yunazzilul ghais. That is, it is you. Because of you, the rain drops. Bikum yumsikus sama. Because of you, the sky, it is held back. And taqa al ard, from falling on the earth. So all these high statements are there regarding the Imams alayhim salam. So Imam is holding back everything. كل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين, that we have in Ziyarat, in Surah Yasin. So Imam is holding back everything. Now we are so weak. Now when we get tired and we are sleepy, this eyelid that we have, which is not more than a few grams, that eyelid, I cannot hold it. If I'm sleepy, it will drop down, it will close. I have no control to hold that eyelid as well. Or if I'm sluggish and sleepy, I cannot even hold my neck, it will just fall down. Now we have someone mentioned in this ziyarat, Bikum yumsikus samaa an taqa ala al-ard. This huge big sky that we have, vast, and no columns, no pillars, and this sky has been held back by the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. It's held back from falling on you. Now all these inventions, the other thing is that presence of an Imam, it guarantees, it ensures. Presence of an Imam, it's kamal, it's perfection. So it means that if Imam is there, then we shouldn't be going through any tough time. So if Imam is there, then this corona should have stopped long ago. Why is this corona still there? Why is it not ending? Now these are things that it's two different topics. The grief and the worry, the pains that we have, and the presence of the Imam, that is also an insurance and a guarantee that we have. Now, a woman, for example, she loves to be a mother. And if for whatever reason, if she's getting late in bearing a child, she would do everything. She would do everything, every medication, every treatment, so that she bears a child. Now this bearing a child is a perfection for the woman. But at the same time, this perfection also has pains that she has to go through. That period of gestation that she will be in, and then the delivery that she will have to give. the pain that she will go through at the time of birth. So to get that kamal is there, the perfection of being of motherhood is there, but then the pains are also there. So the pains are part of that program. Now many a times you see that many of these nations that have prospered so much in the past 40-45 years, like Palestine, like Yemen, like Iran, like all these Muslim lands, all this might and strength that they have got is as a result of going through a tough phase, tough time, pain, agony, tests, trials, etc. So Imam's presence is good, Imam's presence is perfect. At the same time, it has its own griefs and pains and worries as well. Now, there are three things, a few things that we have. We talk about the ismats of an Imam, that he is infallible, about the miracle that is given to the Imam, and also the appointment that is from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And they are all mustajabud da'wah, that whenever you ask something or whenever the Imam asks something for someone, that dua is granted by Allah. Now to understand this, how come Imams, they have miracles? Now the police here, they have a baton, they have a handcuff, they have a gun. Now to every officer these items are given. But there is an agreement also with the officer and the police department that they can use these items only when there is a dire need or whatever the criteria and the rules are, and when they will be permitted to use. Not that he comes home, the wife is making him angry, he takes out the baton. The child is being nasty, he takes out the handcuffs. Or for example, that gun is used. No. Using these items beyond that criteria or those parameters that have been set by the department, it's not allowed. Imams, they've been given with miracles, mu'jiza. Now this mu'jiza, it's to prove the claim of an Imam. If, for example, someone comes to Imam Mujtaba alayhi salam and says that, yeah, I will accept that you are the Imam and you are the rightful Imam on a condition that this dry tree, you make that dry tree bear fruit, go green, alive and bear fruit. So here the Imam, he proves his mu'jiza and he shows his mu'jiza for the guidance of that person. Not that I don't have sabzi or fruit at home and there is nothing in the market, so by miracle I can have them. No. Use of miracles for on personal levels for the Imams, it is not allowed. And if that was the case, if an Imam is taking help of miracles for his day-to-day life, then he wouldn't be an Imam for me. Now when we look back into the history, when Fizza, the Khadima, the maid of Hazrat Fatima Salamullah alayha, she joined service, she says that I saw that they are going through such a tough time, hand to mouth, struggling with all these expenses and nothing in the kitchen. And then because I had come from India, I knew these sciences, I could change, make gold. One day I said to Imam Ali alayhi salam, I know how to make gold. And she prepared some and gave to Imam and said that, why don't you sell this and buy whatever you need for the house? Imam said to Fizza that I can do more than what you have done. And then he, with an ishara, he changes the place they were playing into all gold. And then he said that we can do that, but we are not allowed to do it. We are not meant to go. We have to see the pain, like every other person sees the pain. We also, when we are the Imam of Mu'mineen, we also have to go through that tough time. We have to see that pain. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says the same thing to Rasulullah, that I want to make you the leader, a role model for the entire creation. For that reason, you have to be an orphan, you have to be a yatim. And if you are a yatim, you've gone through that tough time, then you can be a leader. Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. You were an orphan, so you saw the pain of being an orphan. You saw how people, they taunt at you. So now that you were an orphan and you've seen the pain, you can deal with orphans better. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ, and until the end of that surah. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says the Prophet is the same. That when the Prophet says go to the war and he sits back, that wouldn't be a Prophet. The Prophet himself goes to the war and invites the Muslims to come to the war. Not that he sits in these headquarters and then he sends people to fight. No. The commander has to go, the soldiers follow him. The Prophet has to go, and the people follow him. The Prophet has to see the pains, and the people also, they see the pains. Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, on the day of Ashura, he is Waliullah. His du'as, they are granted. With a miracle, just like Prophet Musa, he hit the stick and the seas, they dried up and the path opened. He could have done something like that to get rid of these Yazidis. He could have done that, but he did not do it. Because he's not meant to use these miracles for the... If he did, he fought that battle and with miracles, then he wouldn't be an Imam for me. Then the first one to object would be myself. That he had the miracles, he did everything what he wanted. He wanted mangoes in winter, he got them by miracles. But for me, I have to wait till summer, and then the mango will ripe, and only then I can eat. Now, when we look into Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet has to be in the people, from the people, and with the people. You can't have the Prophet away from them. Quran says in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, هُوَ الَّذِي بَعْثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ. That is, from among that nation, a Rasul was selected, was appointed. Or for example, in Surah Fath says, Muhammadun Rasulullah وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ, with the Prophet. Or for example, is بَعْثَ فِيهِمْ, that in that nation Allah appointed a Prophet. So all of the pains that I go through living in the society with the people and among the people, and all that I go through, the Imam being my Imam, he also has to go through that. If the Imam is secluded and away from all these pains and agonies and griefs, then that wouldn't be an Imam. So presence of an Imam ensures us, du'as of an Imam ensures us, presence of an Imam also is a guarantee, his caring. If you do want a role model, an ideal, what do? Don't go to the east, to the west, go to God. See what role model He has for you. Who do I be like? Who do I talk like? Who do I live like? If I want to get married, who do I marry? Is there a criteria? If I want to have a family, how do I deal with them? Children, how many do I have? How do I have? And how do I raise them? How do I live in the society? So there has to be someone who can be a role model for me. Allah says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. That is, in the Prophet is the exemplar for you. That you can follow the teachings, the uswa, the way of life of the Prophet. He doesn't say that be like the Prophet. That is impossible. We cannot be like the Prophet. Now here in this ayah says laqad. Laqad in Arabic, like la, it's for emphasis, for ta'akid. Like for example, you've got innal insana lafi khusr. That indeed man is definitely at loss. Lafi khusr. Or in another ayah says, Innal insana la yatgha. That is, man, he oppresses. La yatgha, definitely. When he sees money, when he sees power, he would definitely oppress. La yatgha, definitely he will do that. Now for you and for me, Allah says, Laqad kana fi Rasulillah uswatun hasana. That is the best of exemplars that can be given to you. You can find them in Rasulullah. Now there are different types of people. Someone specializes in something. Like for example, you may know someone, he makes good halim. Another, he's a good in some of these other things. He may make good coats and maybe a good tailor. And even in that field, he may be only making stitching some clothes that he has mastered. So everyone is a master in something. But Rasulullah, everything in Rasulullah is good. Whatever you can take from Rasulullah, his lifestyle, how he dealt with his family, with his wives, and how he ate, how he dressed, how he dwelt, how his akhlaq, his manners, his worship, anything from this life of Rasulullah, you take and pick and choose any one of them and get connected to Rasulullah. And then with that little connection that I have got with the Prophet, I will be safe. That my living, my livelihood will be ensured. We can't expect to be like Rasulullah. It's like this heavy power voltage being supplied to a little lamp. Impossible, it's going to burn and burst. So any one of these beauties that we have in Rasulullah, get connected to them. With that, your life would be ensured. And when it is said to you, there's a lot of food in the kitchen, so I can't go and have all of it. So whatever I can, whatever I want, there is something there, find something from the kitchen and you can have it. So that is regarding having that connection with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam and with the Waliullah. And also there are some, the Prophet, everything in him is good. Our living has to be, should be the living of Rasulullah, living of Hazrat Zahra salamullahi alayha, living Alawi, nothing else, nowhere else. If you want something, it is from this household, and nowhere else can you find anything. So we can connect with them also very easily, very quickly. Says, you remember him, you just say Assalamu alayki ya sahib az-zaman. Very easy. You get connected to him. You missed Abu Abdullah, you say Assalamu alayki ya Abu Abdullah. Now when you greet them, they also have been taught by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. They respond to you in a better way. إِذَا حُيِّيتُمْ. It's the same Quran. They also are practicing that we have to practice. Quran says, وَإِذَا حُيِّيتُمْ بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنٍ مِنْهَا. That is, if you were greeted with a salute, with a tahiyyah, with a salam, you reply back, you greet back in a better way. So when I say Assalamu alayki ya sahib az-zaman, he greets me, he replies in a better way. So presence of an Imam is that beautiful that you will be safe by the Imam. So everyone else that we see in this on this surface of this earth, we are safe. It is because of the presence of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam says, Ana khatamul awsiya وَبِي يَدْفَعُ اللَّهُ الْبَلَاءَ عَنْ أَهْلِ وَشِيعَتِي. I am the seal of all the awsiya, and it is through me that Allah is putting away every bala, every chastisement from my people and my Shi'as. May Allah Jalla wa Ala help us understand and bond with the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. This ma'rifah of the Imam be given a lot to us, and between us, Quran and Ahlul Bayt, never ever come across a moment of separation. Ya Allah, hasten in the return of our Imam, count us all among the best of his servants. Our loved ones who have passed away, Allah, a share of this reward and ajr be sent to every one of them. وَعَجِّلْ فِي فَرَجِ مَوْلَانَا صَاحِبَ الزَّمَانِ وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.